Welcome to Sleepo Hobbies. In this video, I'll be making a simple desert-themed sand base to match the rest of my Night Hunt army. The first thing you'll need is some kind of tray and a little bit of your standard white glue. I just use the Elmer's glue. I'm sure everybody has something of the sort. Online, you'll hear the word PVA glue thrown around a lot. Honestly, while that can be a few different things, just a standard white glue works well enough for basing in my experience. So I put a little bit on the tray, and then I pick up an old brush that I don't care about, and I take some of that glue and I just apply it all over the base of the miniature while being careful to avoid any spots that are actually on the model. Though I do, as you can see, go right up against the sculpted detail. You want to do this so that there's no gaps. So I tend to be pretty loose about this. I could have used a bigger brush, but this is the one I found today. Now, when you get to the base rim of the model, if any glue spills over, I just wipe it off with my finger. And then that seems to create an edge that works pretty well. Once you've finished applying glue to the base of your model, you'll need something to prepare your basing material in. I like to use these kind of reusable plastic tubs. They come in various shapes and sizes, and even the small ones tend to be large enough to fit your model. You just need something that you can fit the base in comfortably. I have already prepared this one right here with material that I have found. What's inside? So as you can see, it's just a fine-grained sand I collected actually just from my backyard. Now, if you're going to collect something like sand, one of the big issues is that some of the small rocks will actually be too large for the scale of a miniature like this. They might not look quite natural. So what I tend to do is I have some kind of strainer or material for sifting through the sand, and I kind of separate it into just the fine sand and then a coarse sand. And the fine sand I apply to most of my minis as the base layer. And the coarse sand, I save some of those larger rocks and things for maybe strategic placement or decorating just how I want. So it's as simple at this point as you take your miniature that has the glue applied. I like to shake the basing material down to one side, stick the miniature inside, and just kind of coat that bottom portion in the sand. Now, this will put dust potentially on the rest of your model, but if you've already painted and sealed it, that should be okay. As you can see, the first pass through the sand has given us a pretty good result. There may be some things you want to change, but first be sure to allow the sand to dry completely. At this point, you can go ahead and add any decorations you might have. I have a few tufts that I was able to buy at a local store that I think will work nicely. Now these tufts come with an adhesive back, but I do like to apply a little bit of extra white glue on the surface just to make sure that they adhere correctly. Now that we have successfully created a base for the model, it's necessary to paint the base rim. I find this the most enjoyable part because it feels like the moment when the whole model really comes together. And there we have it. Our mini now looks much more complete.